Hello everyone, and welcome back to the N26 7th Heaven, and possibly the most single meta episode in the history of just about anything I've ever watched on television. There's episodes of TV shows that sometimes have self-aggrandizing jokes or references within their own fans, or funny stuff within the creators or the creative process, but usually they're about as subtle as a whispering willow. But not this episode. Episode 158 of the series proper, Fame and Misfortune. Now, as you recall, when the new 26 went into season 5, that's rainbow powered, the entire season was based around a myriad of friendship lessons written into a journal that became critical in releasing the Harmony box, and thus rainbow power that led into season 5. 3 seasons have gone by, and Twilight, after recalling one of the old lessons, brings the old journal back up and has a brilliant idea to have it massively published. Here's the irony in that. Hasbro in real life has already done that. You can buy it at Amazon. Literally. It's the second guide to the elements of harmony, by the way, that recaps the events of that season. So upon the publishment of this journal en masse, which, by the way, is redone thanks to Starlight, everybody reads it. But not for the reason that Twilight naturally thinks, 'cause like what we're doing right now, and this is where the meta begins, everybody's got an opinion on it. And leave it to MLP's ultimate writer extraordinaire, M.A. Larson, to be responsible for this trip down the literal meta Twilight Zone. As everybody, just like our fandom, is literally picking best pony on screen. It's a humbling experience, none to say the least, and one of the creepiest things that I have ever watched as a fan of anything. To see the show that I'm watching literally taking time, 22 minutes of its own time, to talk about us and our own criticism of what we do, from a mass show basis to choosing our favorite episodes, to choosing our favorite ponies, to making small miniature fandoms within our own fandom, and ultimately arguing with each other about who is right and who is wrong, and even criticizing the characters for their flaws. The moral of this episode is actually two-pronged. It's not only one, that nobody's perfect and nobody should be asked to be, but also to learn to deal with the fact that not everybody is going to like you based on those flaws. There are going to be some people that are going to just straight up hate what I have to say every week. But I say it because one, I want to, and two, if it affects anybody's opinion on an episode, even one or two, it's worth it. And just like the N26 in this episode, I have grown as a reviewer. I've had to learn what's right and what's wrong, and take positive and negative criticism more carefully. Which, that's what this episode is about. It's about when you get negative criticism overall for whatever reason, whether what ultimately you did it for, Twilight making the book, was ultimately worth all the pressure and trouble. I have that same conflict every week. Uploading videos to you, whether it be ponified videos or something else. It's always something I have to consider. But I always think about who it might motivate, who it might, inspire, and who it might actually soothe or help or even comfort. Like the two young fillies that are also, ironically, the crutch of the episode and the crutch of the moral, which is brilliantly done. But it's also nice from a fan's perspective to get the many callbacks to previous episodes and see that these episodes, all of them, have stuck and meant something. If it doesn't mean what it should for most. But this episode being meta is meta, and not only the negative things that this show has caused our fandom to do at oftentimes, but it's also meta in the idea of what it's done positively. It's brought people together that wouldn't normally be brought together based on the lessons learned. Yeah, we may not all agree which ones are our favorite or which ones mean the most to us. We may not agree how each character is betrayed or whether a character is actually grown. But there is a level of some agreement to be had. Just remember, just because someone disagrees with you or is critical of you, or you don't feel that the show itself is being ultimately improving, or that a character you love is not necessarily doing well. You'll always have those positive memories, those lessons, those morals to reflect on. And remember, these ponies, at least in their world, are quote-unquote human. No one is perfect. But if we learn from the flaws that each of us have, we can have a greater understanding of each other, come to terms with it, and possibly learn. And who knows, for some of us, that's worth writing down. For an episode that is so inward and meta about itself after 158 viewings, this is the best way to express it. Really, it is. Every character, and sans Spike, is given no lines here or anything for that matter, which is just a disappointment. But the core six and even Starlight get their presents. Sub ponies do their jobs, although they're all jerks. But it's all for the purpose of the plot, and the overall moral and lesson of the episode is an excellent one. Plus references to all the major cities also being done well. And it's nice to see that they took this episode to end it with a really nice song called What's Wrong With You. And it's a nice way to sum up the last few seasons of the show in a nutshell. To have the mirror pointed back at a guy like me is a humbling experience. But I take this humbling with pride. There are some things that annoy me, but overall, I've grown as a person doing all these reviews every week. I've grown not only as a reviewer, but I've grown a deeper fan with episodes like this, and this is most certainly one of them. It's not very often, but we got ourselves a rarity. There's no need, dear, to stress so on this one, because I give fame and misfortune something that has hardly ever happened. A back-to-back 2-episode streak of a 6 out of 6. This episode, especially if you're a long-term fan, is a must-watch, even though the meta stuff in it is going to disturb you. But the overall lesson given is something we must all learn. Now I get to put this one in my own diary that I mass publish to you in hopes that you may agree. Sub, comment, and also watch the 2 previous videos that I have annotated here. Until next week, I'm Nirvana Sparkle. Find peace in your own Nirvana. And I'm not perfect either.